Okay, so the UEFA Conference League final has just concluded between Real Betis and Chelsea in Wrocław in Poland, and it is a tale of two halves. Real Betis were 1-0 up at half time. Chelsea have stomped them 4-1, however, one of the best second half comebacks and performances you will see in any game, not just a major European final, but any game. So, Betis had Chelsea run ragged in the first half. Isco was unplayable. Chelsea couldn't cope with him. Ezazule on the wing, who scores the goal after 9 minutes, was also a threat. And Chelsea could not cope with how the Real Betis press worked. They were sloppy in possession. They looked nervy. And this is the youngest side starting 11 to take the field in a European final since Red Star Belgrade against Mönchengladbach in 1979. The average age was 24 years old. The oldest player to take the field for Chelsea in the starting lineup was Cucurella at 26. This was a very young side. And Real Betis, they had, well, you've got Isco in there, for example. You've got Champions League winners in this Betis side. You've got Europa League winners in this Betis side. This is a side, for the most part, that's won the Copa del Rey a couple of years ago with Pellegrini as manager. This is an experienced Betis side, and it showed in that first half. It did show in that first half. The goal for Ezazule, Chelsea overplay, ball comes to Isco. Isco, that subtle pass to Ezazule on the wing, and the finish is brilliant as well, but it's the pass. Isco had a brilliant first half. Betis had a brilliant first half. Their high energy, high up press, Chelsea could not cope with. Cole Palmer, for example, who was a key player for Chelsea this evening, couldn't really get on the ball. They didn't really create enough. Adrian in the Betis goal is not being tested. Now, when it came to half time, Chelsea were, I think, glad for half time. I think Betis didn't want half time. You could argue that Betis didn't pace themselves, and that showed in the second half where they just fell apart. Now, Enzo Maresca brings on Reece James, the club captain, and a slight tactical tweak is what was needed. And it completely changes the freedom that Cole Palmer gets in possession. It really does, because first half Cole Palmer's not getting on the ball a lot. He's isolated. Nicholas Jackson up front's not getting a lot of joy out of the game. And so they're not getting their key players on the ball when they need them. And that's partly because of Betis' press, but Betis run out of energy. They bring on Reece James, they adjust their tactics, they adjust their formation, and it means Cole Palmer creates the first two goals. And they are brilliant goals. The cross for Enzo Fernandez's opener, the equaliser. Enzo Fernandez, a late run. It's a Lampard-esque run if you're a Chelsea fan. The header is brilliant. Adrian gets a little bit on the ball, but not enough. That's the momentum swing, because it had been building for a little bit. Chelsea had been controlling possession for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. They were slowly building. They were gaining in confidence. Palmer's getting more involved in the play, getting more passes, more space. So it had been building. Betis were looking less effective with that tweak in formation and tweak to the lineup that Enzo Maresca made at half time. And it's the momentum swing, and then Betis implode after that. So Fernandez gets his goal on 65 minutes. Nicholas Jackson gets from a similar position, again Palmer on the right, swinging the ball in. Admittedly, Nicholas Jackson chests the ball into the back of the net. Not the cleanest contact. It looks like he's headed it in. He hasn't. He's actually bounced off his upper chest. But it's the movement in the box to get in front of the defender to score the goal. That's on 70 minutes. And then Sancho scores his goal. Which for me, at this point, Betis have imploded. They're not out of the game, but they have imploded. For all intents and purposes. They've fallen apart. They've run out of steam physically. Isco is still having his moments on the ball, but he's less influential in the second half. And then Sancho, his goal is an absolute thundercracker past Adrian in the net for the third on 83 minutes. And then Caicedo, the player of the season for Chelsea, gets his goal on right at the death at full time, pretty much on 90 minutes. And all 4 goals are brilliant. Now, you could argue Betis got a bit overwhelmed with the final a little bit as a team. Although they did, as I say, have players like Isco in there who played in 5 Champions League finals and won them, and 9 finals in total. They just ran out of steam. Their game management wasn't there. They'd run around like lunatics in the first half and put a lot of pressure on Chelsea. Chelsea looked nervy in the first half. It was a very open game. It was a very open, entertaining game. Very entertaining game. And it just took a few tactical tweaks to get Cole Palmer more on the ball. And once that momentum had swung, and they got that first equaliser, and then the second goal, Betis fell apart. Their game management went, and Chelsea took control. Anthony had a mixed game on the Betis right. We got to see a little bit of Jesus Rodriguez come on for Ezazuli, who came off with an injury. He's a young, talented prospect who has a bright future, but it was only a flash, little bits, not enough. But Chelsea fully deserved their win. Their comeback was brilliant. That second half was 45 minutes of perfect, high-energy football. That really, if they had played like that for the 90 minutes, and Betis had played like they played in the first half for 90 minutes, we could have had a 5-4 or a 6-4 kind of scoreline. In the end, it's 4-1. Highly entertaining final. I was hoping Betis would win just because it would be their first major European honour for a club that has only won 4 major trophies. Most recently the Copa del Rey a few seasons ago. Chelsea, they have now won all 4 major European trophies that they have competed in. Champions League, Europa League, formerly the UEFA Cup, the old Cup Winners' Cup, and now the Conference League, which makes them the second most successful English club in Europe behind Liverpool. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts on the game in the comments section below. I mean, that second half performance by Chelsea was brilliant. I mean, if let's say if Fernandez's head is saved by Adrian, we may have another momentum swing back to Betis' way. But that is, I think, the moment where the game swings, and then it's all Chelsea and Betis are done. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below, and I'll have some more content for you all very, very soon.